Nick landed an easy, high-paying job. All he had to do was look after his employer's niece for a week in a remote old house, and he'd earn a hefty sum of $10,000. There was just one eerie catch: the girl suffered from a strange condition called catatonic stupor. When her episode struck, she'd freeze completely, leaving her utterly vulnerable. For safety reasons, his employer demanded he wear a restraint suit fastened with chains. Though Nick found the request bizarre, the lucrative pay convinced him to agree. The employer helped him into the suit, threaded a metal rod through the loops to secure the buttons, and finally padlocked the connections, ensuring Nick couldn't remove it under any circumstances. With that, the man left without a second glance. The chain was long enough to let Nick move freely indoors, but it reached its limit precisely at the girl's doorway. Curious, Nick followed the chain to its source and found it trailing into a pitch-black basement. Being a decent guy with no ill intentions, he chose not to investigate and walked away. To kill time, Nick paced around, testing his range. The chain allowed him just enough slack to reach the front door. He dragged a chair outside and sat there idly, keeping watch until the dog suddenly grew alert. The lights inside flickered off, and before Nick could react, the chain behind him tautened violently, yanking him backward. He rushed inside to check, flipping the lights on. The girl remained frozen in her catatonic state. Assuming it was a prank, Nick brushed it off. Night fell, and Nick retreated to his room. Exhausted, he barely registered the ominous witch painting glaring down from the wall before collapsing onto the bed. Soon, a loud thud startled him awake. The painting had crashed to the floor. Now at eye level, the woman's hollow stare locked onto him. Unnerved, Nick turned the painting face down. Yet minutes later, a chill crept up his spine. The painting had somehow flipped back on its own. Heart pounding, Nick sat upright. Convinced the girl was messing with him, he tested his theory. He turned the painting around again, lay facing it, and stared intently. Nothing happened. Eventually, he dozed off. Another thud shattered his sleep. The painting lay on the floor again. Had he not secured it properly? But as he reached to pick it up, his blood ran cold. The witch's pupils had narrowed. She was glaring at him.